I head marketing and some licensing at Yacht Club Games. So everything you see from the announcement of a game to its post-launch cool content, I have my hand in that.
hmm And how long have you been there?
I've been there for almost 2 years now.
Oh,
I got
okay.
hired right before the pandemic started. I
Oh,
was like,
wow.
cool, started a new job, and then the world ended.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, do I still have a job? And they're like, yeah, of course. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Or did you not go in and meet people then for a while, or
Yeah,
were
so
you
I
able to
met
go in
people.
before?
So I got to meet people during my interview.
hmm
But when I was hired, everyone was remote. Yacht Club was pretty great at taking the situation, being like, okay, send everyone home. So
Yeah.
right before the shutdown, they preemptively like made sure everyone could work remote.
hmm
So yeah, it took a while for me to meet everyone in person. Everyone's really tall. Fun fact. I consider myself tall, and I was like looking around and I'm like, oh, I'm short here.
Yeah, I have friends that moved. Well, one moved to North Carolina from Miami for a job, and he's like, I haven't met any. That was like during the pandemic. So he's like, I haven't met anyone I worked with. I don't even know what they look like.
Oh man.
And I think my other friend started supervising people in like another team that she hadn't met. So she was just like, I'm telling all these people what to do, and they don't even know what I look like or who I am.
It's like
It's like, oh
mystery.
yeah.
You could be anything.
Do you know where the name Yacht Club Games came from?
Yeah.
Or
So back way back in the day, obviously before my time,
Mhm.
the team was trying to figure out what they should call like themselves, and they wanted something silly, not to be taken too seriously. The names like 5-star games got thrown around because it
Yeah.
just sounds so presumptuous.
Mhm.
And at the time, they're like looking at offices, and the area that they lived in was Marina Del Rey. And they're like, well, what if we were Yacht Club? And like,
Oh.
they're the small indie team. Like, they started a Kickstarter to like get
Mhm.
things going. Like, they're scrounging around trying to like make everything work efficiently. So they're like, yeah, we're gonna call ourselves Yacht Club Game. Like, we're on a giant yacht. Fun fact: we do not have a yacht.
Mhm.
I have a tiny boat figurine, which is as close as it gets.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I went back to the Shovel Knight Kickstarter today to like look at it,
Mhm.
and I saw one of the things was like a yacht party that we were going to rent a yacht and take people out on.
No one bought that tier. It was going to be a party with us.
Yeah.
For this Kickstarter campaign, I kept on being like, bring the party back. But obviously, we're in unprecedented times.
Mhm.
It's not as responsible. One day
Yeah.
we'll get our party. One day.
So then you were responsible for the Yacht Club Games Presents the other day, or
Yeah, so I
you had a
definitely
big part
helped
of it?
direct that and like just make sure everything's going. I had a lot of help from the team. Michael, who's on Gerard's team, the X Play. Like it was a
Mhm.
huge effort, but yeah, I did have a big hand in it.
Yeah. Well,
Oh man.
I saw Danny Pena post about it, and then he mentioned you, and I was like, oh, I think that's the person I was emailing. So I went back because I think I had emailed you last during like the holidays. So I was like, I probably got buried under stuff. So I just like
Oh my
went
God. I
back and
always apologize for
but
that.
that's
It
okay.
just means so much.
Yeah.
So
But that
thank you.
reminded me of it. And then I was like, oh yeah, this thing is gonna be cool.
Mhm.
But I liked how it started with like the Shovel Knight thing and Shovel Knight the Kickstarter starting in 2013.
Mhm.
But it's crazy that like things kept coming out until recently from that.
Yeah, our initial Kickstarter stretch goals were like added different platforming games. They did a poll on which characters. This is even before the game came
Yeah.
out, so everyone just based it on art style of like what characters we should make campaigns about.
Mhm.
And I don't know the passion that my team like put in everything. Before I was hired at Yacht Club Games, I was a Shovel Knight fan.
Mhm.
So like I got to, as a consumer, I got to experience like the excitement of like new DLC campaigns and
Yeah.
them following through their promises. So it's been definitely an interesting journey to be on
Mhm.
both sides of things to understand.
No, that's cool. And yeah, I ended up I think I had played Shovel Knight or seen it at my friend's house.
Mhm.
And like I was at Target and I saw the Wii U version physical and I bought it and I never opened it. And then I ended up returning it like a year later because I bought the Switch and that was the first game I bought on Switch. So then
Okay,
I just played it there.
makes sense. Totally fine.
And then the other day I went back in like this week and I was like, oh, I haven't started the King Knight thing and now I started that this week.
Oh, you're in
like
such
I,
for a treat. King of Cards is my favorite
mhm.
campaign. I enjoy all of them, but I love King of Cards. King Knight's
Yeah,
such an ass.
it's a
Like
lot of
he's
fun.
great.
um, oh, and then there was Cyber Shadow that Yacht Club helped publish.
Mhm.
I guess for the publishing thing, was it kind of like they built this whole Shovel Knight game, but also all the other DLC is kind of like other games. So it's like now we know how to publish too. Let's help someone else out.
Yeah, so actually Cyber Shadow wasn't our first published title.
Okay.
Our first like original was for Gunvolt Striker. I can't remember the full name, but it's the Gunvolt game for 3DS. We're close with Inti Creates over in the East. So we helped bring it over to the States. But for Cyber Shadow is our first hands-on publishing experience. So the cool thing about Yacht Club games, it's not like we just take their game and just throw it out in the world. We're pretty hands-on with things. So of course, it's Arne's game. It's his development process. It's everything. But we did lend development, took our collective pool of knowledge and helped him craft Cyber Shadow and, make things a little bit smoother, help put a little polishing touches on it. But yes, we helped him and stayed with his vision when marketing the game. So it was definitely a really fun process. I was just messaging him with him actually before this call.
That's cool.
So,
yeah. I think I had read that it was more of like not just the publisher that's like either throwing money or like helping you release the game, but like also using our knowledge because we've done so much. Like we've done both things, which is cool. And are there other games being published like in the works or plans to publish other games, or it's more like focused on the Shovel Knight, Dig, and Pocket Dungeon and other games?
So right now we're primarily focused on, still Cyber Shadow, of course, but also, we're focused with Dig with Nitrome, Pocket Dungeon with Vine, and our internal project, Mina the Hollower, which is so fun to be able to talk about. Oh my gosh. People be like, oh, like, what DLC you guys working on? And I'm like, secret. And then we were able to announce everything at once. So I feel like such a weight's off my shoulders. So I can
especially because you were working on the whole thing, so you knew everything.
Yeah, I'm even wearing my Mina the Hollower t-shirt right now, which is so cool. I had to keep it secret. I could only wear it in my house.
And then I guess, when Shovel Knight, Pocket Dungeon, and Dig were announced, I was like, I wasn't upset. I was more like, oh man, it's not a Shovel Knight 2. But then I knew I would want to play these because they're like, I love the character. And then when Pocket Dungeon came out and I started playing it, I haven't stopped playing it.
Yeah, I know.
I become obsessed with it.
I feel like my dreams are also stuck in the Pocket Dungeon because I just I hear the noises in my head. No, I love that game so much. It's been such an absolute joy to work with Russell and the rest of the team to market that game. The mechanics are fun, but one thing I can say, because all fans, of course, they want Shovel Knight 2. They also want Shovel Knight 88. I don't know. So the thing is, though, is that we plan on making Shovel Knight games forever and ever, and we've always envisioned Shovel Knight as an all-encompassing franchise. And so what that means is that he can step into any genre, not just platforming. And it's really fun to explore how the characters of the Shovel Knight universe would relate to certain things. Like, for example, puzzles. Like, how would that be fun? How would they react to being stuck in a confounded cube and check out their abilities? So it's been a fun process. So there'll be tons of Shovel Knights. No one worry.
No, I guess I wasn't like disappointed. It was more like, oh, they're taking a different direction kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
we're gonna go in every direction.
Shovel Knight can go in so many places.
I agree. I want like Shovel Knight Sims. I want Shovel Knight shovel cart. I don't know. I want everything.
Oh yeah, and then do you have more? Is Shovel Knight Dig close to like SteamWorld Dig type games, but also with a Shovel Knight twist with the boss fights and stuff like that, or?
I would say I haven't personally played SteamWorld, so I can't comfortably make that comparison, to be honest. But what I can say that it's kind of roguelike-y type of adventure platforming where a lot of it you go through like different levels and different chain, and what's cool about it is that it's procedurally generated. So there is a theme to how it works, but every time you go through a run, it's like a little bit different. So I'm really excited for fans to experience that. As for how many rooms there are, I can't remember off the top of my head, but every time I record content, I'm like, oh, that moment was really cool. And I'm like, oh, let's go back. Oh, wait, I can't go back. So it's kind of one of those things. I'm really excited for fans to experience being able to actually dig in a game. The joke for a while has been that you can do a Shovel Knight, you have a shovel, you can shovel, but you can't dig down. So it's nice to finally be able to do that.
No, I was more excited for that when I saw it, and I'm loving Pocket Dungeon, so I know I'll love Dig probably.
Oh, it's so fun. It's like it's one of my favorite Shovel Knight games, and Pocket Dungeon already topped the charts with that. So I'm excited for you to get your hands on it
Yeah.
too.
And then I guess Mina the Hollower was the Kickstarter that was announced the other day. I watched the presents thing later at night because I had to do something while it was happening, and I went to the Kickstarter like right away when it was on, and it was already like halfway funded.
Oh yeah,
but now
we
it's
just passed
done.
our first stretch goal.
Mm-hmm.
So and we're getting really close to the second one. So it's like, whoa, it's so exciting to see that so many fans and well, both new and old are getting excited about the project with us.
Yeah. And I pledged the one with the digital one with the music because I love like the soundtracks and stuff.
Oh, you're in for a treat. Jake did
Yeah.
not need to go that hard on the soundtrack. He's currently developing right now. And I'm like, he plays tracks. He's like, oh, just play with this idea. And we're like, this is a banger. Jake, oh my God.
No, there was
So
two on the there were two things to listen to on the Kickstarter site. I just listened to like a little bit, but they were super cool.
So good. It's like chef's kiss. Jake's talented.
And is there things, I guess, that the team learned from doing Shovel Knight on Kickstarter that they're doing different or new, or maybe more or less stretch goals or changing it up a bit? Or just
before that, we learned a lot of lessons. We're never going to mail dirt again, or maybe we will. I don't know. We will mail bones. I don't know. It's kind of those things where like certain things were very. We did everything in house, so this time around we're working with Fangamer directly for it. Where before the team had a room where they were just doing assembly line, bagging stuff, doing it, and it was they really, you know. They were a small team. It was like what 4 or 5 people. So it's okay to reach out and get help. So another thing is that the team's bigger now. We are at 20 people. So it's an all hands on deck experience.
Yeah, I guess because I was thinking the other one was in 2013, and in my head I'm like, oh, that's like 7 years ago, but it's almost 10 years ago now because of it's 2022.
I know, right? Time flies. I'll be like, yeah, last year, that's not 2019. And I'm like, are you sure?
That's also the like 2020 and 2021 are kind of like 1 year. They kind of pause time.
Yeah, there's 6 months. What are you talking about? Silly.
I was thinking of how, I guess, with the traditional game development cycle versus the Kickstarter cycle, it's like traditional, you're working on this game in secret, and then like when it's about to come out maybe, or when you're ready to show what it is, you can show it. But more with the Kickstarter, it's more like you're showing an idea and like what you're thinking of doing to build hype, but then you're also, the cool part is you're building this community, and people are, I don't know, since they're already throwing money in and investing, they're like waiting for it. They're waiting for updates. They're waiting for news. They're like always watching it. Like all the Kickstarter projects I have, I check like every week, like what's changed, what's new,
what's going on here?
It feels like you're part of it, or you're part of the team.
And that's what we wanted. Like, so for Mina the Hollower, fun fact, game development, and we tend to be we're very transparent about these things. I know we did years ago, we did a blog article of like how much it actually costs to make a game. Because I feel like that's always shrouded in mystery. And you hear about these huge AAA budgets. When you think of an indie game, you don't actually realize like it costs money to make a game. So for that, we're financing a great majority of the game. Like, we're investing in this too. We're not just going to the fans being like, hey, give us money. Wouldn't that be cool? It's legitimately, we're investing in this, and we're giving the opportunity for fans to join in on the journey with us. So it's to build a community, much like what we did with the first Shovel Knight game, and really make it into something great. So that's why we like made the Director for a Day tiers, the NPC. We're going to be doing live dev streams where backers can really be a part of the process for that too. And it's going to be a really fun, transparent process, and I can't wait to like go in with the community. We also launched a Discorder, a Discord. The fan Discord, by the way, is Discorder of No Quarter. They're great. We work in conjunction together. But I'm so used to saying Discorder that I pronounce Discord wrong all the time. But yeah, we have the Yacht Club Games Discord. And so it's like fans can jump in and like say hi there too. We have an Ask the Dev chat where through Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. we will eventually look at the questions and answer them. Just because, I can't just sit there looking at questions all day. But It's like an open forum for us as well, in addition to Twitter or, asking on the Kickstarter page. So we're basically giving as many venues as possible for fans to reach out and be a part of our process with us.
Mm-hmm. Now, I guess the director for the day tier and those things work? Is it kind of bringing someone in to the meetings as like a fly on the wall where they can help out and give their thoughts and stuff, or
Yeah, so
someone
for
can
that,
just come in and just say, I want this, do this?
okay, so it's a collaborative process. The
Mhm.
way that our team works in general, like besides Directed for a Day,
Mhm.
is that everyone has a hand into the development process. So like when you talk to me, like I'm with marketing, but I'm in the design meetings. I know what's going on. Like if I have an idea for a character, I can pitch that idea. It's very open. We all talk and like we all bring our ideas to the table. And that's one of the reasons why Yacht Club games, like our characters, our worlds are so fully fleshed out, is because everyone has a piece of the pie and we're passionate to make it the most perfect version of what it could be.
Yeah.
So when we bring in the director for a day, the NPC director for a day, we take their ideas they have, because typically, not everyone's going to be a game designer going in. They're just pumped to be a part of the process. What's going on here? So we take their ideas and help them craft it into something full-fledged that would be in the world. Like we're not going to have like someone's like, I don't know, Slappy the Clown. It have to be like going into what would Slappy look like in the world of Gothic. So maybe he's very medieval looking or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing out examples. But it's making sure whatever they bring to the table, it's fully encompassed in the world and matches and doesn't stick out. And you wouldn't realize as a consumer that was actually someone else's creation.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is really awesome, because we've had that happen with the Shovel Knight series. Mr. Hat was a director of the day. Reese was a director of the day. So was Baz and Phantom Striker. So for those, it's just kind of one of those things where it really was molded into the world. Yeah. And that's what we plan to do for this campaign as well.
Well, that is really cool to bring, even just to bring outside people in, or someone that normally doesn't do that stuff. And even if their idea isn't the right one, maybe it sparks something that's cool.
And like basically they'll get like they can go into the details about it, because I'm like focused on like other sides of the marketing, but for it, we're very open, very like engaged company. So whatever we decide to mold with them, it's going to be the spirit of whatever they decide.
Yeah, and then I wanted to talk about Pocket Dungeon, just because I've been playing it so much.
I love Pocket Dungeon.
So how would you describe the game to someone who hasn't played or hasn't really seen it or anything?
So Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon is a roguelike puzzler adventure. It takes everything that we love about falling block puzzles and smashes it together with like an awesome adventure action game. I would say that if someone first like looks at Pocket Dungeon, it's going to be very like, oh, it's Connect 3, but there's so much more to that. Each character, whether you're familiar with the Shovel Knight universe or you're brand new, is fully fleshed out, and each has a different gameplay style. And so where our focus was when playing, like you're developing Pocket Dungeon, was having each character be the most fun it could be for that like playable character. So I would suggest them trying it out and delving into the dungeon.
And where did the idea come from? Or was it, I know I was thinking now how Riot Games is doing like those League of Legends spin-off games, but they're getting other developers to come like make their, like the people that made Runner, the Runner games made one for them, but it's just basically like a Runner game but in that world, but they're getting like people that know this world to like bring their characters to it, which is cool.
So for Pocket Dungeon, it's actually kind of an interesting story. So in true Yacht Club Games fashion, my colleague David was hanging out on Twitter, just looking at cool games. And he saw this studio, this is one man studio, Vine, which is Russell Rafferty. He was posting a game called Puzzle Nights. And it was this roguelike puzzler adventure game that he was developing, and he was going to release it in like a week. And it looked really cool. And so David showed it to the team being like, hey, this is really cool. I love puzzlers and roguelikes. Let's check this out. And the rest of the team was playing it. We're like checking it out. And we're like, there's a lot of similarities here. Like with the Shovel Knight universe, this would fit really well. Why don't we reach out to him to see if he'd be interested in having a Shovel Knight influence.
Mhm.
So we reached out to him, and Russell was like, heck yeah, that sounds fun. I was
That's
going to
cool.
release this next week, but you know what? It'll take like 3 months to do this. Like, it's fine. We all high five, start working on it. So 3 years later, we released the game. Because basically, what I would say what's really cool about Vine, the team that we built around him, which is Caesar and Juju and Mig. His name is Michael. He's a fantastic pixel artist. I can go into that in a minute. But like, and if I'm forgetting what else, I'm sorry. But like, literally, like their team and our team working together in such a cohesive process is that we all have trouble putting the creative pen down. I would say that's the biggest challenge when working in our studio and with someone else that's just as passionate, is that we kept on throwing in ideas. Oh, wouldn't it be cool if we had this? We should add a mini game. Oh, we need more relics. Those are awesome. So yeah, it took 3 years. And now we're making DLC.
Yeah.
We didn't plan that initially. We were just like so in love with the game and the world that we built together that we're just like, yeah, this is happening. So here we go.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like it's also one of those games that I guess I had like if I'm playing Kenna Bridge of Spirits now on PS5, and then when I finish before I go to bed, I'm like, I'll play some Shovel Knight, and like I die, I'm like, okay, when I die, I'm going to sleep, and then I'm like, okay, one more try, one more, and you just keep playing, and then it's been like an hour or two.
Oh my God, that's my life. So like I recorded content. So leading up to Pocket Dungeon's release, I did a GIF a day where I literally posted one GIF of like one small detail a day online. And I would record the content and I'd be like, oh, I could do that better. One more. And then 4 hours passed and I'm like, well, I have a lot of content, but also 4 hours just passed.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just so fun. It's so addicting and has that one more game feeling that like hits all of the receptors of serotonin in my brain.
Yeah. And then it has the different modes. I get like when you first start out, it says, do you want to play it as a roguelite or an infinite type game? And at first in my head, I was like, oh, it's like a hard mode and an easy mode. So I picked roguelite, and then I also had it on my PS4 and I picked the other mode, but it's not an easy mode. It's just a different mode because you have more lives, but it's still super hard and there's more enemies. Every time you die, like the board fills up. And
yeah, so actually in our new free update that's coming out eventually soon, we're going to be able to, you can adjust when you fall in battle, the spawning rate. So let's say if you wanted to be super fast, by the way, don't do 200%. I was doing that and it's very scary. Or you can, I don't know. I'm not your mom, you do what you want. But basically, yeah, you can adjust that. So we're adding more accessibility options for it. There's ongoing support for the game. We also announced Random Night, where it's a character that helps mix up your gameplay. So when you enter, you go into the Pocket Dungeon, and you start playing, it'll switch up the character. So you have to master all the characters because you don't know who you're going to get. So that's variety to your run.
Yeah. Well, so far I only have King Knight at my table. I haven't found any other.
Don't worry, you'll collect the rest of the boys soon and gals.
But I saw, when you announced the updates and the DLC with more accessibility and everything, I was like, this game already has like so many settings and accessibility because it's like a puzzle game. And there's the subgenre of like roguelite versus infinite. Then under that, there's like you could choose. Do you want the levels in random? Do you want bosses or no bosses? Do you want more lives? Do you want more damage? And like you could change it up so much already.
Yeah, no, we know that. And we had accessibility in mind, but it's kind of one of those things that we're always listening. Yeah. And if there's a way that we can make the game more fun for more people, then we're down to do it. So it was one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, that would be really cool. Because sometimes when people are getting used to the Pocket Dungeon, and the board starts filling up and then like the heart starts pounding and the adrenaline starts going up and things get a little bit more stressful than they need to be. So that's an easy way that we can help people out.
No, that's super neat because usually I guess people would be like a game developer might be like, we already did all this stuff for you. We're not going to add more stuff to make it easier.
Okay, time out. Okay, so considering our studio promised like 4 additional campaigns and like a fighting game and like all the things that they wanted to do, we're very hands-on. Let's do everything that we can type studio.
And then the DLC will be adding, I guess, new bosses or more levels and stuff, or
Yes, and new
all kinds of
bosses, new
everything?
playable characters, new relics and items, new hidden secrets, and much, much more. That's my marketing jargon copy. We have a lot of things. Things are still currently in development. Like I've said before, we have a hard time putting the creative pen down, so we didn't want to list things and be like, "Oh, wait, one more thing." So we kept it pretty general. We also announced that we're going to be doing mod support for the PC version of the
That
game.
sounded really cool.
Oh my god, we can't wait. Like someone in our Discord was like, "Oh, are you guys gonna do reactions to some of the mods?" And I was like, now we are once it's out, because I'm so excited. The team had fun putting the placeholder mod guys in. Like we added Cool Ice or Ice Dude. I don't remember his name, but he was really funny, and like Catfish. So I can't wait to see what the community decides.
Yeah. Oh, and then while playing the game, I've noticed that like I'm always trying to do it really fast, but the slower you go, the better. But then if you go too slow, like things are still going to move. They don't stop for you or wait for you to go.
So for that, I would say just start working out. You work slow, but you be decisive,
Yeah.
Time works differently in the pocket dungeon. So go at your own pace. Eventually you'll get really fast. Like for example, okay, so I've started to work on speedrunning the game for funsies. We actually did a dev react on IGN to Dan the VP's speedrun. It was amazing. Oh my God. Like my record for the planes right now is 26 seconds to get through it. And so for that, like at a certain point when you keep on replaying the level, you can kind of start to decide like where your path is, and it just clicks in your brain. So yeah, start slow in the beginning. Oh my god, I remember the first time I played Pocket Dungeon, I died on a bone cling, and I was like, I suck at this game.
Yeah.
And then like now I'm like speed whiz, like going through everything. So this takes time.
No, I felt like that at first too. Then I was starting to get it, and then I went to the next level. I'm like, oh, these are totally different guys now. I have to learn how they work.
Yeah, but like everything incorporated in there, once you start getting it, once you get it, you get it.
You start to learn it. There's like certain levels.
If you ever need any tips, let me know. I made an instruction manual.
Oh, nice.
So fancy on the Yacht Club Games website. People read it. I made it and it took a long time.
I guess how do you play the game, or do you play different ways all the time, or?
Yeah, it depends. So I really enjoy playing with Shovel Knight, near and dear to my heart, considering that a lot of the content I made, typically you have to favor with the game's mascot. But I also really enjoy playing with Mole Knight. I love being able to like go through the board and like make my own puzzles, because I like having the puzzle aspect of the game. Scrap Knight is very similar to that. I also really like playing as Prism, because it's really fun to teleport through, and it's like, oh, the game's deciding this. Nope, I'm going to do this chain first. So I really enjoy playing as her as well. I don't know, there's so many. Like Black Knight's like on aggro mode. Propeller Knight is very I'm giving you spoilers. I just realized. Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm just so pumped about the game. It's very difficult. But yeah, so like each character, let's keep things hidden. Each character has a different play style and different ability, which makes sense for their character in the Pocket Dungeon world. And it's really fun to explore that and, play around to see what's the most fun for you.
Yeah. No, it's just so much. I feel like I'm going to end up getting it on Switch anyways, just to play handheld mode also.
Yeah, I typically play on Switch or PC, depending on what I'm doing.
But it looks really good even I played on the PS4 and then went to the PS5, and it felt the difference. Like it looked better.
Well, the PS5 is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Just got one too. So I'm just like, I couldn't get a PS5 because no one could get a PS5. And I was like, man, it's the same. It's I was like talking myself out of it, and I got one. I'm like, oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. No, I ended up getting it because I was talking to like the Best Buy chat about something else, and then I was like, oh, by the way, do you have PS5s coming in soon? They're like, yeah, tomorrow. And then I had like my PC and my MacBook both on the Best Buy page the next day and then I got it. But I had to drive like an hour to pick it up. But
sometimes it's worth it,
well, I guess all the Yacht Club games are very pixel art, but I love that look. But even going back to Shovel Knight now, the menus and things feel like an old game, but also it feels like an old and new game at the same time, which is super cool. But I love the artwork is just awesome on them.
Yeah, we tend to blend like retro and modern in like such a really organic, fun way. It's really enjoyable. And that's also what we did with Mina the Hollower. It has strong influences with Game Boy Color games.
Yeah.
And we took everything to account, like even like with like the color palette, basically limiting the sprites to like only 4 colors and like an 8x8 pixel tile. And just everything, like even to accounting to like the Game Boy screen, which was really tiny. So we did it slightly bigger. I think it's, okay, so Game Boys was like 160 by 144. And don't quote me on this because I'm smart. So I know that, you know, the Hollowers, I think is 250 by 144, 256, 250. Around there, 256, let's go with that. 256 by 144. So like basically we just took everything into account when we were designing this game. And you know, we're in the thick of development, so it's only gonna move forward from there. But reeling back, the attention to detail is amazing. I work with incredibly talented and passionate people, and no one, like everything has a thought to it. Everything's intentional, and I love that.
Are they making a Game Boy Color version of the game, or?
Oh no, oh my God. That would be building it completely from the ground up, because though we are faithful to the Game Boy Color, we got to cheat a little bit. Same how we did with Shovel Knight. I would be very impressed if someone could get it on a Game Boy. Someone probably will eventually with a very powerful, not Game Boy, if that makes sense, modded Game Boy. But no, I don't think it's possible right now. It would be cool though. Like in my heart, it would be really cool. I'm a Game Boy collector, so I would love to play it. But,
no, I have the Game Boy Color, like the Pokemon one that I stole from my friend's little brother, like back in the day, because they had a just like a drawer in his house full of Game Boys. And then I went to, I borrowed it and then I just kept it.
Oh no! I feel like that happened so much back in the day, so it's fine. But also, he's like probably like sitting there like,
where's that Pokemon Game Boy?
She's at your house.
But then the only game I had for the longest time was Tetris. Like I'd lost all my games, and last year I went to SuperCon here and picked up Home Alone that I remember playing as a kid, which didn't make sense. Like I went back and played it, and I was like, I still don't understand this game. And
it probably was a reskinned game.
And
that's how sometimes licensing games work. Like, okay, so fun fact. Mary Kate and Ashley's Get a Clue. Okay, don't hate. It's with the Game Boy Color, regular Game Boy, and it's really fun. I think they needed it was like it's very like, you know, you play as one character, you step on a platform, then you go to the other character. I forget what the genre is called, but it's like one of those kind of puzzle games. And it's really fun to play as an adult. I recommend it. But yeah, I think they just needed something to help sell the game, so they licensed it.
No, it was a lot of fun playing Home Alone and trying to figure out like what I was trying to do, and like remembering as a kid doing the same thing and being like, I don't know what's going on.
It's fine. C'est la vie.
And then I played Kirby. I got a Kirby game, and that felt like just as good as playing like a Nintendo or Super Nintendo version of Kirby on the Game Boy.
Did you play like Dreamland, I'd assume?
I think I got Dreamland. Like
Dreamland's good. Tilt and Tumble's stressful if you have that one. It always stressed me out as a kid because I'm like all shaky and I'm like a little chihuahua. I'm just like, and so playing that was stressful for me.
It's Kirby's Dreamland.
Yep, that's a good one.
But it feels just like the NES ones and like something newer. Like it doesn't have any business being a Game Boy game.
Definitely. And handhelds are great. If you're looking for Game Boy games, you should play Dragon Warrior Monsters. It's a spin-off it's a spin-off series from Dragon Warrior, aka Dragon Quest. But it's so good. It's like Pokemon, but Dragon Warrior. Dragon Quest. It's confusing because the name changed over to match the Japanese version. I would say in the late 90s, I think that's when they started doing that, early 2000s. But anyways. It's a very good game.
And then I usually just ask people about themselves and their love for games and stuff. But I guess I want to start with the showcase. Like, what did that mean for you to put that together with your team and to be on camera and everything? Or have you done the on-camera stuff before?
Yeah, I've done on camera like a little bit. I've done it, for Yacht Club Games. I actually introduced Pocket Dungeon in the Indie World Direct. Very thankful for that opportunity. But it meant a lot to me. When it was done, I teared up a little bit just to see what can you imagine okay, it's gonna look like this, and like coordinating with everyone to make sure everything was like the process, but to see it completed and see how all of our hard work paid off and it looked good. So it wasn't like we worked really hard and it was crap. It felt so good. Everyone puts their heart and soul into everything that they do at this company, and I'm really proud to be a part of that process.
Also, working with G4 was probably cool, and not just working it on your own, or with your team only.
It was amazing. So like Michael, well, he actually works directly for Gerard. He helped with editing for the presents. Super fantastic dude. Oh my gosh, he's great. But also the G4 team, Danny, amazing person who so helped with their process. Megan was great. Gerard, of course, was amazing. Like literally every person I met at G4 was like the kindest, sweetest person I've ever met. Like Michael Leffner is like fantastic. Like I don't know, everyone's great. It was so cool to like, I remember G4 when I was younger. I was a bit too young to watch it, to be honest. So I don't have that nostalgia besides knowing it existed.
Yeah.
But I still think it's really cool. It's really great to meet new people, especially in, the climate that we're in. It's so hard to make new friends.
Yeah.
So we get to work with another studio and something. I was like, oh my God, new friends. Let's hang out. Let's be best friends.
No, it's fun to get. I do improv here, and we used to get together every Wednesday or theater and have a big rehearsal with like probably 50 of us or something. And then during the pandemic, we couldn't do that, and I missed it because every Wednesday it was like more fun performing with each other for ourselves and performing on weekends, because we'd like go all out there since it was for your friends and stuff. It was just a lot of fun. And then what's your history with video games? Like, did you grow up playing games? And
yeah, I did.
You had your early gaming memories or consoles or favorite childhood games, maybe?
Yeah, of course. So my first console was the Nintendo 64. We had gotten it from a family friend, which sucks for them, great for us. So we got it. And I remember coming home and seeing my dad like plugging in Mario 64 and being like, what's this? And I was like, I don't know, it's a video game. And I was like, okay. And then my sister and I just getting absolutely addicted. And then we ended up getting more games. Like, we got Ocarina of Time, we got Banjo-Kazooie. Banjo-Kazooie, which like started my passion for video games, because it's a collect-a-thon and I love collecting things. So just like I remember looking at this being like, yep, this is it. This is gaming for me. Like I'm gonna like this forever. And then I did. And then like growing up, I got my Game Boy Color and I started collecting games. Dragon Warrior Monsters. That was one of my favorite games. Pokemon, all that good stuff. And I just never stopped. And it's been great. I've been in the video game industry for about 7 years now. Worked in marketing. And it's just every day is an adventure. And I'm so proud to be a part of an industry that really contributed to my upbringing and to give back and do something great.
That's super cool. And then where did you grow up, I guess?
I grew up in Los Angeles, California. Yeah, and I didn't leave because I'm still there.
Yeah. Well, did you have, I guess nearby, did you have arcades and stuff that you go to, or was it more playing at home or playing with friends or family or solo?
It was playing with friends and family. So yeah, I was too young for arcade. I missed the arcade genre. I grew up in a suburb outside LA, but you say LA because no one knows what the suburb is. And the thing is, though, is that there's no arcades there. Everything closes at 9 p.m. And there was one DDR machine at Papa John's Pizza or Pizza Hut or something. I don't know. It was one of those pizza places. That's how I discovered DDR. Anyways, I missed that. Anyways, okay. So for that, so I would go to my friend's house. My cousin also had a Nintendo 64, and every weekend, like he'd get a different game, and then we'd compare. Like I learned about a lot of genres from gaming. Like for example, Star Wars, the pod racers. I actually didn't know about Star Wars. I just thought it was a space racing game. And that was like for a few years. I was like, yeah, space racing. And then I finally saw Star Wars. And I'm like, this is just like the game. And like that was my connection to that. Yeah, so like I made a lot of friends through gaming. I moved schools around, even though I was in the same area a lot. So the quickest way for me to make friends was be like, who's a nerd? Okay, who likes what? And then I'm aggressive, so I'm like, I'll beat you. So that was great. Diddy Kong Racing champ over here, just so just throwing that out there. But yeah, just in general, it's been such a big part of my life, like growing and playing up. I like have an older sister. and she would be the person to be like, I have to play the game first because I'm older. And I'd be like, okay. So I'd watch her play games, which I feel like was just training for Twitch, because that's what you do. You watch people play games.
That's what they do now.
Right? I started it first. I'm the original. But it's just kind of those things that you grew up and you learned, and you fell in love.
Yeah. No, I have an older sister. She's 3 years older, and it started as like her NES. Then it became mine when she got the SNES, and then it became more mine, like that. And the N64 was kind of ours, but more mine. Yeah. Like it was in her room, then in like the shared room where we'd play, and then everything started moving to my room.
Yeah, no, seriously, I've absorbed most of my sister's collection. Sarah, if you're watching this, too bad. So for it, like I have her PS2. Like, so the Nintendo 64 was ours, but hers, because she said it was hers, and I was like, okay. I'm a little kid, I don't care, I'm just happy to be there.
Yeah.
And then like for Game Boy, it was hers, and then I got my own, and so we just share games. And then whenever she would get a new console, I would get the old one. So that's just kind of how it works. So when she moved out for college, she abandoned everything, and I was like, it's mine now. She's 3 years older too, so like. Okay.
And then in college, you went and you studied more media and marketing, probably? No?
I studied theater. Because I wanted to be in theater management, theater marketing, which doesn't have a focus in the marketing department, but you learn it more in theater. So I did that. I explored voice acting for a while.
Yeah.
So how that went. And then I was like, I really enjoy marketing. I really enjoy having control over things and like building a campaign. And I get that artist feeling in that, since I do PR, like public speaking, I'm not shy. So it really did prepare me. That weirdly enough, theater did prepare me for my career, because like stage management is basically making sure a booth and everything's going great for conventions, when those are a thing again. And just everything for it did stack up. So sure, I didn't get the most formal education, but it's video games. A lot of people did it. So video games cares more about what you can do rather than where you studied. But if you're going to study, go study and have fun. I'm not knocking college, but it's more experience based. So if you can get your foot in or create a creative project by yourself and make something truly amazing, then more power to you.
No, I've talked to a lot of people that are more self-taught, or even if they did go to like game development school or something, like game developers, it's still, you get out and things are just changing so fast, so you have to keep learning.
Yeah.
Like there was one guy who's, I think, in his 40s or 50s and just made a game, but the stuff he learned in school has totally changed. Like everything.
Oh yeah, I
games
bet.
are
Video games and technology in general is constantly changing.
It's more learning how to adapt than like learning what's happening.
Definitely. Even with marketing, like trends and things that they said that you would learn in school, I sat on classes. It counts like studying, right? What they taught back then, because I graduated college in fall 2014. And so it's like what they taught then is so different to now. The climate, social media marketing in general also is a different beast.
Yeah. Well, I went to advertising school for copywriting after I had done regular, like my college. I studied accounting and finance, and then I did some creative writing at the end. But I think when I was doing the ad school, it was like the digital stuff was beginning to get like big. Yeah. So everything was becoming all digital, and now it's even changed even more.
Back then it's like, this is a hashtag, we use them sometimes, and now it's like you can't find your thing unless you can have some SEO targeting for this and blah 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 blah. So yeah, it's very different now.
And then, well, you wanted to do the theater stuff, but then how did you get into the game industry? Or was it just looking for something with marketing and you found a job that was in games and you're like, oh, I would love to do that?
Okay, so this is actually like a not funny story, just a weird, wow, this just so happened. So just as a disclaimer, my whole life is happenstance. So I'm just throwing that out there. So in college, I worked for a kiosk in the mall called Bella Pierre. They sold makeup. It was real cool. Anyways, I ended up getting involved more with them because I was like really good at sales. And they're like, oh, like, you should meet our corporate because it's local and like get into marketing for us too. And I was like, oh, okay. So I like kind of got into more things of that, like with marketing for sales. And then that ended up leading to one of my bosses being like, hey, my friend has a video game company and he needs a brand manager for E3. Would you down to do it? You like video games? And I was like, okay. So that led me to Kazulu Games, which is a augmented reality board game app-based video game. It was very confusing.
Mhm.
But that was before Pokemon Go. It was very hard to convince people you would use your phone for gaming augmentedly. But surprise, it was ahead of the time, I guess. So I got involved with them and I started working with them. And then a little bit later, I started working with a video game hardware development company called Hyperkin. They focus mainly on like retro gaming and modern accessories. They're really cool.
I
So I
think I've
worked with
seen.
them.
Do they have like a emulator type thing?
So one of
I
their
feel like I've
console
heard of
or
them, or
two.
I've seen something maybe.
Yeah, they have some that are like hybrid emulation. So it works with I don't speak for them, but like it works with like hardware, but also there are some software elements to it. They also have consoles that are completely hardware. They
Mhm.
also make cool controllers. If you ever need, good one, like they have some really fun ones. But yeah, so I worked with them for about 4 years, a little over 4 years. And then I started working with Yacht Games. So
Okay.
it's been a fun process, and I've been all over the map. I've been in mobile, I've been in hardware, and now I'm in software.
Mhm.
And it's been really cool, like as a career, just to experience different elements of different aspects of the gaming industry.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's been a wild adventure.
But that's also cool that you were into Shovel Knight and all that, and then you found a job working with them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. When I applied, I had zero. Oh my God. I've told Sean this. And he was like, oh my God. It's like one of those things where I thought it'd be funny. Well, not funny, but like, wouldn't it be funny if I'm like
Yeah.
looking around, and just I'd get to meet, worst case scenario, I get to meet the creators of Shovel Knight. That's
Mhm.
dope. So I interviewed with them. They're like, oh, are you a fan of Shovel Knight? And I didn't want to sound like a groupie. So I was like, yeah, like, I've dabbled with Shovel Justice. And they're like, oh, cool. And the interview went really well, and they ended up liking me and hiring me. And I was like, oh my God, this is a dream. So then
Yeah.
I moved over. But everything just happened at the right time because like though I was enjoying my old job, I want to be closer to family, and this was
Mhm.
an opportunity too. So
Yeah. Well, because there was yeah, when I was looking for like copywriting jobs, I'd see like Blizzard's hiring someone, like, oh, that would be cool to work for a gaming company and I know their games, or like I'd see companies that are hiring them, like I'm familiar with them. That would be cool just to even talk
yeah.
to someone there
Right?
for an
Like
interview.
literally, it was just to make friends. Like
Yeah.
when I say wouldn't it be funny, I just mean like, isn't that just such a bizarre
Yeah, it's like
idea
so
that this
cool and
game I
weird.
like, that I would get to meet them for a job interview? Wasn't that funny? Like
Yeah.
in my head, it just sounds bizarre because I'm just like in my head, I'm a kid. You know what I mean? I'm
Mhm.
just like going to all the cool things and be like, sup, cool kids. So that's what I say when I mean funny.
Yeah,
But yeah, it worked out, and I really love where I'm at. I'm so excited to go to work every day, and
that's cool.
it's a great place.
Hmm.
So with work in general, if you're ever looking at places, it's kind of one of those things where it's like you're gonna do work regardless. So why not it be something that you're enthusiastic about?
Hmm. Oh, and you talked about how it's like a collaborative environment, like everyone has their job, but they're also doing or helping with other stuff, for their
Yeah.
like everyone's in the meetings. But are there a lot of things you've learned about game development or the game industry maybe that you wouldn't have learned at another, just being a marketing person, or if they had kept you in like your bubble or your area?
A lot. Like I've started to really understand a lot of aspects for game development that I had no idea about.
Yeah.
Because I just, I wasn't in that. And like, it's definitely really interesting to understand the thought process of why certain things are put in games, like the
Yeah.
tutorial, like basically for like Shovel Knight, for example. They like showing you, and also Mina the Hauler, they like showing you rather than telling you, so
Hmm.
you learn yourself. So it's like, oh, we're in a room and there's not much to do, like what do I do? It's like, well, I should hit that wall, and then you learn because
Yeah.
you're basically making that decision for yourself that walls are destroyable, like certain walls. And
Hmm.
so it's just kind of one of those things where it builds on itself and it makes you feel smart as the player rather than, hey, you should do this. Which, by
Yeah.
the way, those type of tutorials are great too. It's just what makes sense for the game's world as a whole.
No, but sometimes those, well, if it says like push A to jump or whatever, it like takes you out of the game more than if
Yeah.
they're
So
like jump over this and then you figure it out.
yeah. So it's just kind of one of those things. Each game development's different. My colleagues write blogs. We like to open up the curtain, pull it
Mhm.
back and show development process for everything. We're really transparent like that. So yeah, we wrote a blog on it, and I remember editing the blog, looking at it, being like, "Oh, yeah, that makes sense."
Yeah.
It's cool to learn.
I guess now you can play like you're playing a new game and you might be like, oh, I can see the developer
Yeah,
was thinking this, and you like can see behind the scenes kind of.
Literally, yeah. It started to peel back that curtain, which is really funny because like in the beginning, like I'd see a new game, get super pumped, like, oh my God, I'm playing. And it's like, oh, I don't know why they're doing this, but that's really cool. And now I can sit there and be like, yeah, the reason why they did that was because A, B,
Yeah.
and C. And it's like, I feel smart.
Yeah. Or you might see like something that I would see like, oh, that's like a shortcut they did. Maybe I'm like, oh, that's cool. They did this, but you can
Yeah.
see it
Or
as like,
like
oh,
in
they just
Nintendo
did it because of this.
64 fog. I just thought places were foggy, okay?
Mhm.
And it turns out it's like, oh yeah, because it can't load that, so that would hide it, so there's no like issues or like any stuttering or anything. And it's like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. I just figured the world was foggy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
And
learning.
then what are your interests and hobbies, I guess, outside of gaming? Are you still doing theater or any type of acting or anything like that, or voiceover?
Yeah, little stuff here and there. I have no idea if it's ever going to come out, but I'm a pilot for a show about gaming. But that's I don't know. It's called Lost the Lead. I don't know if they're ever going to come out with it or not, but I'm in it. Haha. I also like with voice acting, like little things here and there. I really want to get more back into it, like on the side. I used to do a little like wallow with Bing Zoom and stuff like that. So it'd be cool to like go back into it, but it depends on time because like me, the Hollower, and like my career is always first. So to be able to do stuff on top of that just depends.
Yeah.
But hobbies, I used to work out a lot. Now I'm getting back into it again because things start to open up. You can go outside. We're all boosted. So starting to get more into that. I'm really into retro gaming, which is gaming, so awkward.
Yeah.
I have a retro gaming Instagram called Kosher Gamer, and I talk about retro game collecting and stuff like that. So I do that on Instagram occasionally. I need to get more involved on it again because I started and I used to go really hard and post all the time, but things just been busy. So it's like on the hobby on the side. Besides that, I don't know. I watch a lot of anime.
Yeah.
I watched Demon Slayer yesterday and it was really good. And that's it. That's my life.
Yeah. No, but it's hard to do. Like I do all the side stuff because I want to try to make my job into something that I enjoy more. But I feel like when you have the job, like a career you're like, well, I'm doing what I like, so I can just relax after that. Or
and
I was
it's kind of
motivated
those
to.
things. Yeah, where it is. It's like my passion. I'm excited every single day to go to work. Like literally this morning, like I'm taking tomorrow off because I need to sleep. But like literally, I was so excited to go into work today, and then I was sad that I don't work tomorrow, even though it's good that I'm supposed to take it off. I'm also like, oh man, like I really wanted to work on these cool Mina gifts. Like I want to play through the demo and discover new things, even on the side of the team, So I guess I'll just save that for Monday. Darn.
And then I guess since you're like now you're playing Mina demos and stuff through development, you think when it comes out you're still going to be like, I want to play this whole game, or are you gonna be like kind of done everything already?
I play Pocket Dungeon for fun. Literally, I'll be like, oh man, I'm done off a hard day work of recording for video games. Time to play more video games. So no, I plan to play it like and see it through that lens as well. And it's really cool because Mina is actually the first game that I've been from start and going to be to finish. Because like when I got hired a couple years ago, we were already working on Pocket Dungeon. We were beginning it. We were already working on Dig, and we were working with Arne on Cyber Shadow. So this is the first project where it's like start to finish, like seeing the whole creation, not just a part of it. And it's so thrilling to see.
That's really cool. And then I guess I started doing a lightning round of questions this year.
Go.
So
let's do it.
What have you been playing lately besides Pocket Dungeon, and are you playing Pokemon or something else?
Not yet. I've been playing an unhealthy amount of Pokemon Snap because I'm trying to 100% it. It's so cute and it's beautiful and I love it. I just go to look around at all the different Pokemon interactions. So I've been playing that. I recently beat not beat a short hike. I was playing through that. It's really cute. It was my pocket dungeon wind down game because I'd be like so full of adrenaline. I'm like, let's play a short hike because you're hiking and you're slow. I've been doing another round of Fire Emblem Three Houses. So for that one, I'm doing the 100% save everyone that you can. Not to spoil the game for anyone. Spoilers ensuing. So if you're doing the Black Eagles route, you can save everyone except Dimitri and Dedue and Hubert and Eldegard and Claude. So those 5 characters are the only ones you can't recruit, besides the ones that Mr. Lee died. So for it, I have everyone on the team, and I feel like I'm master, and I'm trying to S rank all of them. So because I want to date everyone because I'm horrible. So I am romancing the whole school, which is mildly inappropriate. But yeah, so I'm doing that right now. I'm very into 100% like social linking anything I can. I did that with Persona 5, and I'm planning on doing I literally, oh my god, you have to min-max it. It's amazing. But I plan on doing that with Persona 4 again soon. So right now, that's what I'm playing.
So on your PlayStation, do you have a lot of platinum trophies and stuff? Or
yes and no. I have certain ones, but not like everything. It just depends. Persona, yes, I have everything. But for I don't know, like other games, like I don't know what else am I playing. Like Spyro, I bought the 3 trilogy for nostalgia reasons. I haven't beaten that. I was like playing it and I'm like, I love Spyro, and then I was like, oh yeah, I remember Spyro.
Yeah.
So
no,
it just depends.
I start certain games and like I want to do everything in this game. I want to platinum it, and then when I'm done, I'm like finishing the story and I look at the trophies and there's so much left. I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna do it.
I know, it just depends. Because like with
Spider-Man and Ghost of Tsushima, and that's pretty much it. The Spider-Man games and Ghost of Tsushima's.
No, those are good. I've yet to play Miles Morales, but I've heard really good things.
It's
so it is
fun.
on my list in the future.
And what are you looking forward to playing this year? Well, whether it's something coming out or something you've been saving.
Ooh, what am I looking forward to now? Breath of the Wild 2, if that ever happens. There was this game, and I'm not sure if it's out yet or not, but it was made by the same I think it's the Chunsoft people. I don't remember. The people that made Danganronpa. They announced a game. I think it's like World Enders Club or something like that. I really want to play that because anything Danganronpa related or anything of the sort made by them, I'm just like, yes, give it to me. I played through all 3 games like back to back to back this past year. So I'm addicted and I'm looking for my fix. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm not sure yet. There's this game called Mina the Howler, but you know that's it's pretty cool, I guess, you know. So yeah, playing more of that as we develop it.
Is Mina supposed to be coming out this year? Or?
Oh no, it's not gonna. But I meant this year, as in like as we develop, I get to play and make content. There's my joke in there. It's a joke for anyone. No one report on this that's coming out. It's not. You're disappointed. We don't have a release date on it, but we're pretty transparent with our development process. So I'm pretty sure the fans will start to know when it's winding down. When we're like, hey, things are looking good. So everyone will be hands-on on that. So it's all good. I had to look up what games are coming out because I was excited about Pokemon. Arceus is on my list because there's Bidoofs in it, and I'm a huge fan of Bidoofs. Everyone hates them. I've loved them since 2006. I am a hipster, okay? I saw, I'm not in my office, but I have a collection of Bidoof figurines. Like the little plastic one that came in the Diamond and Pearl toys for Toys R Us. It's oddly specific, yes, because when you look for them online, you have to specify. Anyways, so I have I have like a bunch, and I call it Bidoof Rescue whenever I get a new one. Now I'm just talking about things. I'm sorry, I'm monopolizing this conversation. Any more questions?
I know you play a lot of older retro games, but do you have certain comfort games that you jump back into every once in a while, or that you're always playing?
Yes, Dragon Warrior Monsters. I love that game so flippin' much. I replay it all the time. The characters are cute. The story is really encapsulated. I really enjoy it. So I really like that one. Any Harvest Moon 64 is really, really fun. I really enjoy that. Majora's Mask for N64 as well. A lot of these are going to be Nintendo 64 games, by the way. I love that game. it showed me that games could be darker. I didn't know that at the time. I was young and I wasn't introduced to much. So it was my first like, ooh, kind of spooky game. And I was like, oh, that's so exciting. But also it's so fun, and it organically taught me speed running. And I love that, because when I was a kid, I was like, oh, it's 3 days. Well, what if I try to beat the game in 3 days? And then I was able to do that, obviously. And then I was like, what if I made it like 2? Could I beat a game in 2? And so like I started to learn to speed run it, and then I didn't realize that there was a community. And then I remember going online and discovering that it was, and I'm like, you guys did this too? I'm not original, damn it. I'm not original. I had this cool idea to share with everyone. So that Banjo-Kazooie is like clockwork in my brain. I feel like I can play it like with my eyes closed or something. I don't know. I love that game. And then lastly, Mischief Makers. It was one of the few Nintendo 64 games that was played with the D-pad, and just the humor of that game, the mechanics is really fun.
Write it down. Check it out.
Mischief Makers, it's really fun. If you get motion sickness, you're not going to like a level, but besides that, it's so fun.
Yeah. And then in music, what are you listening to lately? Or
Cyber Shadow soundtrack by Enrique Martin. He's so talented. We just put that on Bandcamp, and so I've been like re-listening to it, and it's so good. But
it's
in
coming
general,
to Apple and like Spotify later, they said?
Streaming services. I'll find out which ones eventually soon.
Yeah.
I'm the one setting it up. Sorry, guys. So for that, becoming to streaming services eventually soon. It's great. I love it so much. That Pocket Dungeon soundtrack's great too. Jake never needs to go that hard, and then he does. And I'm so glad that he's on the Yacht Club Games team. I don't know if that's public knowledge actually, but Jake's an employee of Yacht Club Games. He used to collaborate with us, but then we finally pulled him on board. We wore him down, and he said yes. So he's one of us. So it's so cool to like hang out with him and get to know him. So he's great. And then like, I don't know, not normal music, but non-video game soundtrack music. I listen to an unhealthy amount of Tessa Violet and like Beach Bunny. And I don't know, I like indie pop kind of songs, or adult alternative, any like throwback. When they announced the We Are Young, possibly fake concert, I was listening to like Three Doors Down again and like jamming out.
And does the musician guy on the team is Jake, you said?
Yeah, Jake Kaufman.
Does he have, I guess, like a music studio at the office or something like that?
Yeah, he has his own office, and he also has his own studio. We all work hybrid, or some people who are close enough to the office go in. I go in sometimes, but not really. I tend to work from home because it's just easier that way.
Yeah.
But he is fantastic. Jake is he goes by Bert. He used to go by Bert back in the music days. He is unbelievably talented. His roster of music that he's created for countless video games, amazing. He's actually the reason why we got into contact with Matsumi. I can't remember her first name. I'm the worst person ever. Something Matsumi. She is credited with like the Mega Man soundtrack. Oh, she's amazing. Oh my god. Yeah, just talented people. He's the one that put us in contact with her. He's like, oh yeah, it's my buddy. And I'm like, what? He's great. He's fantastic. And I'm so proud to work with him.
That's cool. And what are you been watching lately or seen lately?
That's a good question. What did I watch recently? Demon Slayer. I've been watching an unhealthy amount of anime. I really, really like Demon Slayer. I remember at Anime Expo 2019, they were like talking about it, like this is the next big anime, and I was like, okay, hopping on the shonen bus. See you there. And so yeah, I've been watching it. If you haven't watched it, I don't know if you're an anime or not. But
I've been getting into it since I had a friend that loved Cowboy Bebop, and then he gave me the DVDs to watch like a few years ago, and then I started trying out different ones. But every time I start one, I never finish it. But I watch
Demon Slayer, do it.
Yeah, I have friends that watch Demon Slayer.
It's so good. Yeah, I was watching the newest episode of Attack on Titan because I'm just waiting for that to end. I know what happens. I just want to see it end. See it through. It's been going on for a while. But
I watched most of the first season of Attack on Titan.
It makes me so nervous. So I had to read the manga so I knew what happened, because it's just so no one's safe. No one's safe at all. And it's very traumatizing. And I get emotionally involved in everything I do. So I'm just like watching them die and being like, my heart.
And what have you read lately?
What are books?
Or just manga, if not.
So I'm just gonna reveal this to you, but wow, exclusive. Okay, so I've been reading in a healthy amount of manhwa, which is the Korean version of manga. It's like their own, because manga's them. Anyways, so basically for it, there is a genre called isekai. And isekai is I think that's actually a Japanese word, but it's overarching genre. But anyways, so isekai is mean that you're going to another world. So then there's the subgenre of that, which is ootome, which is like you're going into one of those dating sim games. And then there's a subgenre of that where you wake up as the villainess. And I've been reading way too many of those. And like my best friend Bryce and I have a book club. Her sister Jillian's in it too. And we just share all of our weird garbage that we're reading. So much degenerate shits in there. So I'm just like, I'm reading this one. It's cool. And like, it's been a lot. That's what I've been doing with my life.
That's fun. And then my last question was that you put together this showcase, and that was probably like a big career move or a big goal. But do you have a new goal to look forward to, or something big you want to do, I guess?
I don't know. I'm already on top of the mountain. Where do I go from here? I don't know. Help market a world groundbreaking Kickstarter. I don't know. I'm not sure. I have to reassess my goals, but I feel like I'm on cloud 9, and the world's our oyster. So there are big things planned in the future for Yacht Club Games, and I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Those are really good. I feel like it's cool to see these smaller teams doing really cool showcases, like was the one the other day. I love their games. That Mark Hamill was in it, but they did that long one.
Oh, I didn't know.
It was the SteamWorld people. So
cool.
Image Inform, or not Image Inform, the other the publisher maybe. There was a bunch of games. It wasn't like too long, but they had a bunch of games. It had Mark Hamill in it.
That's so cool.
But it was just
Can we get Mark Hamill too?
Yeah.
I can tell him about the Space Wars game that I played.
Yeah.
Whoa, you have to play. It's totally cool. Oh my god. Imagine this for life.
No, what it's because before I was always like the big companies or PlayStation and Nintendo doing all these things. It's cool to see the smaller companies doing. Like, look at what we're making.
Yeah, I know. So it was great. Big thank you to G4. One of the reasons that it was like so high quality was we were able to use their cameras and their nice things. So we're super appreciative for the G4/XPlay team for helping us out on that. Gerard has been an absolute joy to work with. He has a YouTube channel too, besides G4. He's the completionist. And it's really cool. It's been cool to really get to know him. He's so sweet. He's such a genuine, kind person. And it's really nice to see that and be able to call him my friend.
Yeah, I knew him from the completionist, and I saw he was on G4 because I think he was on one of the podcasts I watch as like a guest one day. So then I started following his channel, which is how I meet or find out about all these people.
Yeah, no, he's really cool. He's back from even the normal Boots days. He's been in the gaming field and industry for a long time. So it's really cool to be able to see him, do great things and work with him and stuff. So.
So that's all I got for you today. So thanks for doing this so much.
Yeah, of course. Always happy to hang out. I was like, what? New friend interview? I mean, yeah, interview. Let's do that.
No, it's been cool to just talk to people and learn not just like what they're working on, but also about them. And like just like everyone's into video games too and into different things. So it's fun.
Yeah. Well, it's been great to get to know you too. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. So thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. If anyone watching wants to know more about Mina the Hollower and her exciting tale, you can check out our Kickstarter page at minathehollower.com. If you want more Yacht Club Games content, well, we have lots of content for you. You can follow us on Twitter. We're at Yacht Club Games. You can also follow us on Facebook. We're facebook.com/Yacht Club Games. We have an Instagram, and guess what? We're at Yacht Club Games. We stream every Thursday on Twitch, and we're at Yacht Club Games on there too, and it's Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you once again. We post all of our information at yachtclubgames.com, so check it out. We really appreciate you guys having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Of course.
All right, well, thanks so much for your time, and
of course,
yeah, we'll be in contact and I'll let you know.